The evening had started with such promise for Michael and his friend Damon. They had been set up on a blind date with two women who, according to their mutual friend, were absolutely gorgeous, and just their type. Now, as they approached Chez Maurice, a dimly lit French bistro downtown, their confidence was riding high. Through the frosted glass windows, they could see the silhouettes of two women seated at a corner booth, one with flowing blonde hair, the other with dark brown locks cascading down her shoulders. "This is going to be a night to remember," Michael muttered to Damon, straightening his tie as they pushed through the door, the bell jingling overhead announcing their arrival. The hostess greeted them with a practiced smile, leading them through the maze of tables toward the booth where their dates awaited. As they approached, they could only see the backs of the women's heads, one blonde, one brunette, both perfectly styled. Damon shot Michael a triumphant grin, already imagining the possibilities the night might hold. But as they rounded the corner of the booth, both men froze in their tracks, their smiles faltering and then disappearing entirely. Where they had expected to see two separate women, there sat a single figure, a woman with two fully formed heads emerging from a single body. The blonde head was turned toward the window, while the brunette was checking something on a phone. The hostess, seemingly oblivious to their shock, cheerfully announced, "Your party has arrived," before placing menus on the table and disappearing back to her station. The two heads turned simultaneously to face them, both breaking into warm smiles. "Hi, I'm Sophia," said the blonde head. "And I'm Olivia," added the brunette. "We're so pleased to meet you both." Michael and Damon stood frozen, unable to process what they were seeing. A heavy silence fell over the table as the men awkwardly slid into the booth across from the date, or dates. They weren't sure what to call this situation. Michael's mind raced frantically, searching for some explanation. Conjoined twins, perhaps. But no, this was clearly one body with two distinct heads. The blonde head, Sophia, seemed to pick up on the discomfort. "First time meeting someone like us?" she asked, her voice soft but direct. Before either man could answer, a waiter appeared, breaking the tension momentarily as he took the drink orders. "Double whiskey, neat," Damon managed to croak out, while Michael simply nodded to indicate the same. When the waiter left, Olivia, the brunette head, spoke up. "Look, we get it. This is unusual for most people. Our friend probably should have mentioned our condition, but she thought you might not give us a chance if you knew." Michael found his voice at last, though it came out higher than he intended. "What exactly is your condition?" he asked, trying and failing to keep his eyes from darting back and forth between the two faces. "We're what medical professionals call dicephalic parapagus twins," Sophia explained calmly. "Two heads, one body. We share most organs, but we have separate brains, separate personalities. We're two distinct people sharing one body." The drinks arrived, and Damon immediately grabbed his and took a long swallow. Michael did the same, welcoming the burning sensation in his throat as a distraction from the surreal situation. The evening progressed with stilted conversation. The women seemed intelligent and well-spoken, trying their best to put the men at ease. They ordered food, and as they ate, Michael and Damon exchanged frequent glances, silently communicating their mutual discomfort. After the entree were cleared, Sophia leaned forward, her voice dropping to a seductive whisper. "We were wondering if you'd like to continue this evening at our place. We could show you both a good time." Olivia nodded in agreement, adding, "We've been told we provide quite the unique experience." Michael recoiled, nearly knocking over his water glass. Damon's face contorted into an expression of pure disgust. "You can't be serious," he sputtered. "We're not going to bed with a freak of nature." The words hung in the air like a physical blow. Both Sophia and Olivia's faces fell, expressions of hurt quickly morphing into anger. "A freak," Sophia hissed, her previously soft voice now razor-sharp. "Is that what you think we are?" Olivia's face reddened with rage. "We are human beings, you ignorant assholes. We have feelings, desires, just like anyone else." She grabbed her glass of wine and hurled the contents at Damon, the red liquid splattering across his white shirt. "You think we're freaks?" she continued, her voice rising to a shout that turned heads throughout the restaurant. "You're the freaks, shallow, judgmental pricks who can't see past appearances." In her anger, bits of food she'd been eating sprayed from her mouth, landing on Michael's face. Sophia was equally furious, unleashing a torrent of profanities that made even the hardened waitstaff wince. "We didn't ask to be born this way," she screamed, "but we've made a life for ourselves despite people like you." The situation escalated rapidly. Damon, his ego bruised and his shirt stained, grabbed his plate of half-eaten coq au vin and flung it at the women. Michael, not to be outdone, followed suit with his crème brûlée. The restaurant erupted into chaos. Other diners screamed and ducked for cover as food and dishware flew through the air. The manager, a portly man with a pencil-thin mustache, emerged from the kitchen, shouting for order before finally announcing that he was calling the police. When the officers arrived, they found a scene of utter devastation. Tables overturned, food splattered across walls, and at the center of it all, 4 people still hurling insults and occasional pieces of bread at each other. "Break it up," the lead officer commanded, but Sophia and Olivia were beyond reason, lunging across the table at the men, their nails raking across Michael's face while Damon received a powerful punch to the jaw from their shared right arm. The officers struggled to separate them, the unique challenge of restraining a 2-headed woman clearly not covered in their training. In the ensuing melee, Michael and Damon managed to slip away, leaving through the kitchen exit and running down the alley behind the restaurant. They didn't stop until they were several blocks away, both panting and examining their injuries in the reflection of a storefront window. Michael's face bore 4 deep scratches, while Damon's jaw was already swelling, a bruise forming beneath his eye. "That's it," Michael declared, gingerly touching his wounded cheek. "I'm done with dating. I'm done with women. All of them." Damon nodded in solemn agreement, wincing at the pain in his jaw. "Never again," he swore. "It's not worth it. Not any of it." As they limped toward the nearest subway station, their clothes stained and torn, they made a pact to remain bachelors for life. The night had indeed been one to remember, though not for the reasons they had anticipated. Behind them, the sounds of sirens could still be heard, a cacophonous end to what should have been a simple dinner date. Neither man looked back, both determined to put as much distance as possible between themselves and the 2-headed woman who had shattered their expectations and left them questioning everything they thought they knew about the dating world.